Once upon a time in a faraway land, where the winter nights twinkled with a million stars, there was a magical forest called Glimmerwood. This forest was unlike any other, for it was said to be the home of tiny creatures who lived beneath the sparkling snow and glimmering ice. Every winter, as the first snowflakes began to fall, the forest transformed into a breathtaking winter wonderland, with trees cloaked in white and the ground covered in a soft, fluffy blanket of snow. Among these tiny creatures was a curious little snowflake named Fifi. Fifi was no ordinary snowflake. She had a dream of finding the legendary Hidden Mushroom Village, a place where all kinds of magical treasures were said to be found. The Mushroom Village was said to glow in the dark, filled with luminescent fungi of all colors, shimmering under the bright moonlight. One chilly morning, as Fifi floated gently through the air, she heard a soft whisper coming from a group of snowflakes gathering in the air. They were talking excitedly about the tiny snowflake path, a trail that only appeared in the most magical of winters. This path was said to lead directly to the Hidden Mushroom Village, but it was not easy to find. The snowflakes had to work together to uncover the clues that would reveal the path. Determined to embark on her adventure, Fifi gathered her closest friends: Twinkle, a sparkling little snowflake with a heart of gold; Nimbus, a fluffy snowflake known for his kindness; and Frosty, a brave little snowflake who loved adventure. Together, they decided to search for the tiny snowflake path. The first clue was hidden within the glowing winter forest, a part of Glimmerwood where the trees sparkled with a silvery sheen. The forest was known for its magical ambience, especially during the night when the moonlight cast shimmering beams through the branches. The friends gathered their courage and set off towards the forest, their hearts filled with excitement. As they glided down into the glowing winter forest, they were greeted by a sight that took their breath away. The trees were adorned with shimmering ice crystals that sparkled like diamonds. The air was filled with a soft glow that seemed to dance around them, making the whole forest feel like a magical dream. The friends giggled in delight as they floated through the enchanting scenery. Suddenly, Twinkle noticed something glinting in the distance. "Look over there," she exclaimed, pointing her tiny flake towards a peculiar object nestled in the snow. The friends rushed over to investigate. As they approached, they discovered a beautiful crystal ball. Resting on a pedestal made of icicles, the crystal ball glowed softly, illuminating their faces. Fifi could feel a warm sensation emanating from it, and she couldn't resist reaching out to touch it. As her tiny flake made contact with the surface, the ball shimmered and displayed a vision of the Hidden Mushroom Village. They could see vibrant mushrooms of every color, twinkling lights, and a bustling community of tiny creatures enjoying the winter festivities. "Wow," Frosty said in awe. "This is amazing. But how do we get there?" Just then, the crystal ball glowed brighter, and a melodic voice echoed from within. "To find the tiny snowflake path, you must solve the riddle that leads to the first clue." The friends leaned closer, listening intently. "I am not a tree, but I have leaves. I am not a flower, but I can bloom. What am I?" The voice sang. The snowflakes looked at each other, puzzled. They floated in a circle, brainstorming possible answers. "It has to be something in the forest," Nimbus said thoughtfully. "But what could it be?" After a moment of silence, Twinkle suddenly exclaimed, "I know. It's a book. Books have leaves like trees and can tell stories that bloom in our minds." "That's brilliant," Fifi cheered, her flakes shimmering with excitement. "Let's search for a book." They searched high and low, floating through the glowing forest. They peeked behind shimmering icicles and under snowy bushes, but they found no book. Just as they were about to give up hope, Frosty spotted something at the base of an enormous ice-covered tree. "Over there," he called out. As they gathered around, they discovered a beautifully crafted book lying in the snow. Its cover was made of smooth, blue ice, and intricate patterns were etched into its surface. Fifi fluttered closer and touched the cover gently. The book opened with a soft creak, revealing pages filled with enchanting stories about Glimmerwood and its magical inhabitants. With bated breath, they turned the pages until they found a section titled "The Path of Tiny Snowflakes." Inside, They read about the legend of the tiny snowflake path and how it could only be revealed under a full moon when the first snowflakes of winter danced in the air. "Tonight is the night," Fifi exclaimed. "We have to prepare for the full moon." As the sun began to set, the friends gathered supplies for their adventure. They collected little sparkling gems that would help light their way and tiny lanterns crafted from glimmering ice. With their hearts full of excitement, they waited for nightfall. Finally, the moon began to rise, casting a silver light across Glimmerwood. The forest came alive as the snowflakes twinkled in the air, dancing around each other. Fifi and her friends took a deep breath and closed their eyes, wishing for the tiny snowflake path to appear. Suddenly, a shimmering light burst forth, illuminating the ground beneath them. A path made entirely of tiny snowflakes glowed softly, guiding them deeper into the forest. Overjoyed, the friends followed the glimmering trail, feeling a sense of magic and adventure with every flutter of their wings. The path twisted and turned, leading them past icy caves and frozen waterfalls. As they ventured further into the forest, they encountered other snowflakes, all drawn to the magical path. Some danced and twirled around them, encouraging them to keep going. As they reached a clearing, the friends gasped in awe. Before them lay a magnificent sight, the entrance to the hidden mushroom village. The mushrooms towered high, glowing in vibrant colors of pink, purple, and blue. They sparkled under the moonlight, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of winter berries. But just as they approached the entrance, they were met by a wise old owl perched atop a glowing mushroom. "Halt, tiny snowflakes. To enter the mushroom village, you must prove your worth by answering another riddle," the owl hooted, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. The friends nodded eagerly, ready to solve the challenge. "What is it?" Fifi asked, her heart racing with anticipation. The owl cleared his throat and said, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. I have a mouth but never talk. What am I?" The friends floated in a circle once more, thinking hard. "This riddle is tricky," Nimbus remarked, "but it sounds like something we use every day." Fifi's eyes widened as she realized the answer. "It's a piano. A piano has keys, but it doesn't open anything. It has space for the music, but no room like a house." "Brilliant," Frosty agreed, twirling in excitement. "Let's tell the owl." With confidence, Fifi called out, "It's a piano." The owl nodded, a smile spreading across his beak. "You are correct, little snowflake. You have proven your worth. You may enter the hidden mushroom village." With a flap of his wings, the owl swooped aside, revealing the entrance. The friends glided through the archway of mushrooms, their hearts pounding with joy and excitement. Inside, the village was bustling with tiny creatures, all celebrating the magic of winter. There were fairies with wings that sparkled like the stars, elves dressed in vibrant colors, and even little gnomes who played cheerful tunes on tiny instruments. The air was filled with laughter, and the sound of music echoed throughout the village. As they explored, Fifi noticed a small, glimmering object tucked away in a corner. It was a tiny treasure map, glowing softly under the warm light of the mushrooms. Intrigued, Fifi picked it up and showed it to her friends. "This map could lead us to even more treasures," she exclaimed. "We must follow it." The friends eagerly studied the map, which displayed various landmarks of the mushroom village. There were sparkling ponds, towering mushroom caps, and winding paths. "It looks like the treasure is hidden at the glowing pond," Nimbus pointed out, his voice filled with excitement. Without wasting a moment, they set off towards the glowing pond, following the directions on the map. As they journeyed through the village, they encountered various challenges, including navigating through a maze of glowing mushrooms and solving playful riddles posed by the villagers. With every challenge they overcame, the friends grew closer and learned the true meaning of friendship, bravery, and teamwork. They helped each other, cheered each other on, and celebrated their victories together. Finally, they reached the glowing pond, its waters shimmering under the moonlight like liquid diamonds. In the center of the pond, a pedestal emerged, and upon it rested a beautiful treasure chest, adorned with sparkling gems. The friends gasped in awe. They had found the treasure. With excitement bubbling inside them, they carefully approached the chest. As they opened it, they discovered not just shiny trinkets, but also magical items that glowed with an enchanting light. There were tiny bells that jingled sweetly, each producing a melody that filled the air with joy. There were sparkling star dusts that would grant wishes, and even a miniature snow globe that held a swirling winter scene. "This is incredible," Frosty exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. "We have to share these treasures with everyone in Glimmerwood." Fifi nodded enthusiastically. "Yes. We should bring joy and magic to everyone." With their hearts full of love and excitement, the friends gathered the treasures and made their way back through the village, sharing their newfound magical items with the tiny creatures they had met along the way. The fairies, elves, and gnomes rejoiced, celebrating together under the moonlight. As the night came to an end, Fifi and her friends looked at each other with smiles that lit up their faces. They had not only found the hidden mushroom village and the treasure, but also created lasting memories that would warm their hearts for years to come. And so, Fifi, Twinkle, Nimbus, and Frosty returned to their part of Glimmerwood, forever changed by their adventure. The magic of friendship, bravery, and the spirit of giving had brought them closer together, and they knew that as long as they had each other, every winter would be filled with extraordinary adventures. From that day on, every time the first snowflakes fell, Fifi and her friends would embark on new adventures, exploring Glimmerwood and uncovering its many secrets. They became known as the legendary Snowflake Adventurers, sharing tales of their exploits with all the creatures in the forest. As winter faded into spring and spring into summer, Fifi often looked back at the glowing winter forest, the hidden mushroom village, and all the treasures they had found. She cherished those moments, knowing that the most magical treasures were the friendships they had built along the way. And so, under the stars that twinkled brightly above Glimmerwood, Fifi continued to dream, knowing that every adventure awaited them just around the corner. Together, they were ready to face anything, no matter how big or small, knowing that with teamwork, kindness, and a sprinkle of magic, anything was possible. The end of one adventure marked the beginning of another, and in the heart of Glimmerwood, the magic of the tiny snowflake path lived on, waiting for new stories to unfold.